Hi guys, today's a special Halloween episode, and we're gonna rank our top 20 all-time favorite Halloween songs.
Yes, we are. Last episode, we actually did a Halloween song, which was a Marilyn Manson song, and we have expressed that we are, by no stretch of the imagination, Halloween experts, or experts on Halloween in any way. We come from cultures that actually don't really celebrate Halloween, but we are very much in tune, say, with American culture through obviously movies and music and everything. So we do know a little bit about Halloween, and we thought, why not have a bit of fun with this and put together our list of our favorite 20 songs. We actually did separate lists. I did one of my top 20. Actually, we did more than 20, and Asaf did his. And then we kind of put it together through some sort of a scoring system where we worked out what would be the show's top 20, basically. Asaf's and mine combined.
Just a side note, apparently a lifelong infatuation with horror films made us also like Halloween. It's a nice outcome.
Yeah, I even wore my Walken Dead
The Walking Dead.
t-shirt, yeah, for this. A little bit of Christopher Walken to add to the episode. I guess without further ado, we can get started on our top 20. You guys ready for this? At number 20, we actually have a TV show theme from The Addams Family. The Addams Family theme by Vic Mizzi, or Mizzi, we're not actually sure. This was from 1964, so we weren't around at that time, not even. Yeah, this is one that's kind of inseparable from Halloween for me personally. I used to watch the show a little bit after we arrived in Australia. I was in my early teens, and yeah, fell in love with the show. So that song was always something that I kind of associated with Halloween. It made sense. And today, of course, it had its resurgence with all the reboots and sequels and now the Wednesday show and everything. So now everyone's familiar with the Addams Family, but the theme was a big thing back in the day with the TV show. Fantastic song.
Yeah, my childhood is infused with the reboots with Raul Julia, rest in peace, and Angelica Houston, and Christina Ricci, and Christopher Lloyd, and all the other magnificent legends in there. But growing up, I still haven't forgotten the show. That song always brings me back to the show. I remember the films more, but I will never forget that show. And that song will always be a staple of that show. At number 19, we have Walking with a Ghost by Tegan and Sarah, the duo. Beautiful song. Really love it.
Yeah, this is a bit more recent. This one is from 2004, so only 20 some years ago. But yeah, it feels recent to me. It's one of those songs that had some commercial success at the time. And there's something about it. It's not quite a Halloween song, but it works for Halloween. And it's got that slightly older sounding tune to it that fits, in my mind at least, with Halloween. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, same here. It doesn't really connect to Halloween, but if I'm thinking about horror films, it does connect like in an outro of like a relief scene after a crescendo in a horror film.
At number 18, we have the classic song Season of the Witch by Donovan. This one is from 1966, so we're going back to sort of older songs. It was from his third studio album, one that I really like the title of. It's called Sunshine Superman. And if I recall correctly, it was covered in 2019 by Lana Del Rey in the film Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's got a real kind of 60s sound to it. I really, really like this song. This is a fantastic song.
I really like this song because it takes me back to whatever Vietnam-related music that came out in that decade. And if I were to see a Vietnam-themed film and that song was in the background, it will fit right in. It's something that was embedded as a child because all the films about Vietnam came out back then. It relates to horror, well, not particularly Halloween, but to horror with me because I can easily imagine it being like a mood setter in a horror film, a slasher film, or something like that. It's just a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's funny. To me, it kind of relates in my mind to like folk horror. But when you mentioned Vietnam, it's like, yeah, there's something to that. It sounds like those types of songs from back when. But to me, it's always one that I feel a lot of people forget with relation to Halloween. But I think it's definitely one that connects. Awesome song.
At number 17, we have Heads Will Roll by Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs. I really, really love this song because from where I'm standing now, it resonates with late 90s, early 2000s horror type films, even though it came out in 2009. It brings like a romantic atmosphere when I listen to it. It relates to teen type horror films that take place during teenhood, like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and films like that of the mid and late 90s. Really, really like it. And I like it as a standalone. I like listening to it regardless. But yeah, it does take me back to that type of film.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying because it's got that sort of modern sound to it. It's a dance song. It's a little bit disco to me, and I love that kind of sound in dance music. But it's also got a little bit of kind of a alternative rock attitude to it, which I really enjoy. The music video was absolutely fantastic. It had that sort of some kind of a homage to Michael Jackson. There was a Michael Jackson looking guy dancing there. He turns into a werewolf and then carnage ensues. Definitely go check it out. We're going to put a playlist together of all these songs for you guys to check out. So yeah, this is definitely one to go for. At number 16, we have Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. First of all, I have to say it's awesome that this one got into both our lists. A bit of a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, who recently passed away. This one is from 1969, so it's from their self-titled debut album that came out in 1970. There's actually a very interesting story behind this one. It was inspired by an experience that Geezer Butler had at a time when he was obsessed with the occult. Apparently, he painted his whole house, the walls, his room, whatever, black, and had like crucifixes and pictures of Satan everywhere. And he was given a book of some sort by Ozzy Osbourne that was something to do with the occult. And there was some story where he basically thought that he saw the devil appear and all the rest of it. He relayed the story to Ozzy Osbourne, who wrote the lyrics to this song. It's really, really awesome. I think the beginning lyrics are saying, "What is this that stands before me? Figure in black, which points at me." So I'm just thinking they had some really, really good drugs at the time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, gee, I wonder if psychedelics had anything to do with that experience.
Now.
Yeah. Can't believe what I just saw. Really? Really? You saw it? Really?
You saw it too?
Yeah. I wonder what inspired them in those days. It's a pretty dark song, but as dark as it is, I don't think, in my mind at least, that I'd put it as a soundtrack for a horror film. It's too dark. It's too on the nose, hinting at what's coming. But as a standalone song, I love it.
I can see it in some sort of an extreme folk horror type situation. It's pretty intense.
At number 15, we have Superstition by Stevie Wonder. This is a highly acclaimed song that came out in 1972. He won a couple of Grammys for it. I don't necessarily connect it to Halloween, but it's embedded in me from my childhood. I've listened to the song numerous times. That's the song I'd recommend for an alien who'd ask me, why do people love Stevie Wonder so much? I think that's a song that represents Stevie Wonder's prowess very well, because it just hits. Stevie Wonder was born to make music, and that's a fine example of that.
Yeah, this one was a strange one for me. Initially, I wasn't sure if I was going to include it in my list because I love this song, but I wasn't sure if it actually qualifies as a Halloween song. And then I looked at the lyrics and the theme and everything, and I thought, you know what? It does. But it kind of stopped me from rating it higher because it's potentially even higher on the all-time songs list overall. It's just a fantastic song, and I enjoy listening to all of these, but this one in particular, kind of when doing some research for this episode. So awesome.
Yeah, there's a cheerful vibe in it that just by contrast would fit perfectly in a horror film, especially, like I like to say, in relief scenes, in scenes that you don't have horror moments in them, and scenes where you have like a character development. This song would fit right in. It'll keep the mood and keep you in it.
At number 14, we have Scary Monsters and Super Creeps by David Bowie. This song was the title track of his 1980 album, Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. A really cool sounding song that I like it more with every listen. It's one of those kind of forgotten David Bowie songs for me because it's not one of my even top 10 Bowie songs. But every time I listen to it, I think, oh, I should rate it higher. It's better. It's really cool. There's just something to it. And even though the subject matter is not exactly to do with Halloween, because of all the themes that it throws in there, it's actually a perfect fit.
I think I love it because it feels to be like messy and jarring, its composition. And in my mind, if I had to put it in a horror film, I think I'd go with gory films. I'd put it in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre installment, something like that. It'll fit right in to really contribute to that eerie feeling of the evil people who live in desolate towns.
I can actually see it playing in the background of something like American Psycho.
Yeah, it fits. Yeah.
It works for that. But yeah, it had that sort of an experimental sound to it, which a lot of Bowie's work did at the time. Awesome song.
At number 13, we have Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus. This is a beautiful oldie from 1979. I know this song quite well. To me, it always meant like a mood setter. I didn't know to say it in those words back when I was a child, but it just sets the mood with everything related to horror. Because I grew up knowing Bela Lugosi's films. My father really loved them. Rest in peace. My father's also passed away. It just felt cool to put in whatever horror film you'd like.
Yeah, and speaking of experimental, this one was also very much an experimental sounding song, which is widely widely known as the first ever gothic rock record. Fantastic. It was very weird to hear at the time. They were a post-punk band, Bauhaus. Just something so gorgeous about this song that just kind of gets you and doesn't let go. I don't know. I've always loved it. It's one of those. It's a very kind of eerie sounding song. Really enjoy that one. At number 12, we have Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. This song is definitely a massive favorite of mine all time. And I thought I would rate it higher on this list. I mean, I did actually on my list, but it ended up at number 12 between the two of us, which is still pretty cool. And it's just one of those songs that whenever it's not mentioned in a Halloween list, I always think it's weird because I think it's definitely one that should be high in the top 10. Love it. One of the best songs of all time in my mind.
Yeah, I can't not agree with that. The mood that it gives, I'd put it, I think, in a lot of horror films, you have an introduction scene where like the filmmaker, the director tells you what kind of film it's going to be with some gory or horrific scene that sets the tone. And then you have a relief scene right after that like has character introduction there. I'd put it in that relief scene to just ease you into the world of the film. It's a beautiful song for that particular purpose. At number 11, we have Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. Beautiful song. It's not really connected in my mind to Halloween, but it's a beautiful song. It's always in the outros of a lot of films, not just horror. I just love this song very, very much. It's really connected to my childhood.
Yeah, it was released in 1968 and it's still one of my favorite Stones songs. I know it's been used in a lot of films, not just horror, thrillers as well, but to me, the film that used it best perhaps, and I remember it distinctly more than any other film, is Fallen with Denzel Washington. I remember them using this song and I thought that was just perfect for that film. But yeah, it's an amazing song. I mean, Mick Jagger really, it sticks with you, you know, from that first "please allow me to introduce myself" sentence of the song. It's just fantastic. Well, we've made it to the top 10. And at number 10, we have my Australian connection here, Skyhooks with Horror Movie. To me, this is one of the utmost Halloween songs of all time. But again, I'm Australian. They're an Australian band. It was a massive hit here, not so much overseas. This song is from 1974, 75. It actually is not thematically related to Halloween, but it just works so well with it. It's actually some kind of a social critique about the news and what we get on TV a lot, that it's a horror movie pretty much. But yeah, one of my favorite all-time songs. I love this one.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with the song growing up, but more towards my adulthood. It's a beautiful song, and I'd place it in any genre, any type of horror film. It'll fit right in wherever you want it. It's a beautiful mood setter. It's a beautiful song. At number 9, we have Monster Mash by Bobby Pickett. This is an extremely well-known song, connected in the genetic makeup of Halloween. Everybody knows it. Everybody who knows Halloween knows it. I don't think anybody in the world who celebrates Halloween doesn't know this song. Even though I know this song, and it's in many horror films, I would place it in a comedy horror of sorts. It's not my go-to song when I think about Halloween, even though that's the staple for Halloween. I know I'm probably a minority here, but that's just how I feel about it. Although it's a pretty good song.
Well, this song was released in 1962, and it was kind of like a horror comedy song. There was a comedic aspect to the delivery and the words and everything about it, but it's definitely, in my mind, the quintessential Halloween song. I will reveal that it rated higher on my list. It's just one of those songs. When you hear it, you think Halloween. It just is. The funny thing about it is it lasted throughout this whole time since 1962 as being the sort of go-to Halloween song. As far as we know, up to 2023, and I assume till today probably, the song generates $1 million annually in royalties, probably all coming around Halloween. So that just kind of goes to show how much of a Halloween song it really is and how it's lasted this whole time. It's just massive. A lot of fun.
Yeah, you can ask Bobby Pickett's kin. What do you do for a living? Nothing. We get paid every year.
It's just $1 billion, so I don't know. It depends on how big the family is and who the estate was left to and all that. The song has also been re-released over time, and I assume it was always coming up to the Halloween season. In 2021, almost 60 years after its release, it re-entered the Billboard Hot 100 chart at number 37. But it's kind of like a novelty song, but still, there's a lot more to this one, I think. I really like this song. At number number 8, we have Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show cast. That one, I mean, obviously, was in the movie. It was in the musical. And the one that always sticks in my mind is really the movie, the 1975 adaptation of the 1973 rock musical. The thing about this one is, before I came to Australia, I actually knew the song. What I didn't know was this whole culture behind the movie. So I remember when I was in high school, I went to this sort of party. The song was playing in the background, and before I could blink, everybody got up, started dancing, and they were all doing the time warp, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what is this? I knew that the dance was in the movie, but I didn't know that everybody knew all the moves. Of course, I did not get up because I would have just stumbled onto people because I did not know all the moves. It was just one of those things, a bit of a culture shock for me. Since then, I learned a lot more about it and realized how much of a culture there is behind the movie and how they do the dance in all these screenings, and it's pretty crazy, but very cool.
Yeah, I love this song very, very much. In my mind, it will always be like the cure for laziness or for indifference. You can't stay indifferent when you listen to the song. It just makes you, I don't feel like sitting down anymore. I want to stand up and do something, even if you don't know the time warp. I remember watching the film that they made, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and thinking, man, Tim Curry really knows how to walk in high heels. That's not an easy thing. So here. At number 7, we have Tubular Bells theme from The Exorcist by Mike Oldfield. I love this track so much. It's a film I've seen as a child. It scared the living crap out of me. It's still in my 10 favorite horror films of all time. It's like the definition of mood setting to an eerie atmosphere or whatever you want to call it. Just a beautiful track.
The funny thing about this one is I think the album was released in 73, 74. The film is in 73, so it must have been around that time. I remember my dad had it on a record, LP, and it wasn't the soundtrack to The Exorcist, it was the Tubular Bells album. And I heard the song for a while. I mean, obviously, 74, I was just born, so I didn't really see the film then. I saw the film a bit later in life, but as I was growing up, a very young age, my dad used to play this album. So the song was really etched in my mind, in my memory. And then when I saw The Exorcist, I actually went the other way. I was like, oh my God, it's the song. It's by Mike Oldfield from the album. It kind of went backwards for me because of when I was born. It's just an amazing instrumental, just fantastic, very eerie. And to me, The Exorcist is in my top 3 horror films of all time. And when people ask me about what film do you suggest I watch for Halloween, I'm gonna do this thing, it's always the first film that I suggest if you want to be scared.
I've been conditioned every time I listen to this theme, it's connected in my head to whatever is considered to be quality in horror, quality in storytelling in horror. And it hasn't aged. It's been 50 years since its release. It still stands. It's a very strong story there. And I'll always keep a special place in my heart for it. And that theme track as well.
Yeah, I think they'll forever be connected. At number 6, we have Ghost Town by The Specials. This is one that kind of surprised me, but not, because I had it very high up on my list. I wasn't sure if you would as well, because I'm not sure how many people really know this song and how well. This song was released in 1981. It's one of those songs that thematically, it's not really about Halloween. It's more about unemployment and all kind of that was going down in the UK. But the sound of this song, it just sounds like it was made for Halloween. I love this song. One of my favorites of its kind. Just an amazing song.
It's one of my favorites as well because it's connected to so many primal emotions. I was a toddler. I was like 3. I remember it still. I mean, you don't remember things from when you were 3. And my brother, as the music video was playing on TV, he explained what it's about. He didn't say unemployment. I wasn't of age to understand that, but he said they're singing about a town that has gangs there that beat people up. As a child, I got scared because of the thing I didn't see. Because you see them in the car in the music video and they're riding around in abandoned streets. And then you see silhouettes of people on the wall. And I got scared. I didn't want them to come hurt me. At one point, they throw somebody out of the car. So my brother found it funny, but I found it, scary. Oh my God, they're going to beat him up now. He's in danger. It will forever be one of my favorite songs because it reminds me of that particular moment in time. Like that memory that got singed in my brain.
It was released when there were riots going around the UK. Yeah. So the song is like, it's about urban decay and unemployment and all the violence that was going on and the industrialization. Yeah. It was just one of those things. And of course, in 1981, I was probably not British at all and too young to really understand the meaning in depth. But I remember that it had a very kind of serious and eerie feel to it, even though the song is very, very understated. And I thought it was just a fantastic song, just such a cool tune.
Yeah. I was born in 1980. It's been around, but that little moment with my brother, that happened, I think, 1985, 1986. At number 5, we have I Put a Spell on You by Screaming Jay Hawkins. I don't necessarily connected to Halloween, but it's one of my favorite songs. I think this song reminds me of my father, of all people, because he used to listen to a lot of what was considered back then as oldies. I grew up on this type of music. I know it very well and listened to it numerous times growing up.
It's funny that you say that because I was introduced to this song by my dad as well. This song is from 1956, so it's the oldest song we have in this countdown. Although I would have not guessed that. I would have thought that some of the other ones may be older, but no, it still sounds current. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's got that sort of old music, almost bluesy sound to it, but it's like, it's got this voodoo feel to it.
Yeah, it feels like it belongs in New Orleans, something like that.
Yeah. And it's, to me, it's one of the best songs of all time. I love it. Screaming Jay Hawkins' voice is just crazy good, and he puts on a show. I remember because he kind of recorded it sort of like a live music video as he's performing it, looking very voodoo-esque. And yeah, a fantastic song, and still one of my favorites today. At number 4, we have the Ghostbusters theme, Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. This one is one I remember very, very clearly when it was released. I mean, geez, the 80s were a good time. This was like 1984, I think. And yeah, I remember just hearing it. It had such a cool sound. It worked with the film so well. And for such a long time, I always think about the movie when I hear this song.
Yeah.
Even though it's a great song all on its own.
I used to listen to this song all day long. We have a holiday here that revolves around water. In the summer, we spray each other with water in the street as kids. It's not a staple element of the holiday. It's just like a custom we adapted over the years. And so we used to pretend that we have the nuclear disruptors, but it was all with water. We had the packs on our backs with the water guns, and we used to hum that song as we spray each other with water. Anyway, this song, if the theme for Exorcist was like a part of the genetic helix of The Exorcist, this song is infused with the genetic helix of Ghostbusters, and there's an interesting story behind it. They couldn't use the name Ghostbusters until middle of production because they didn't have the rights for the name because it belonged to a TV series of the same name. After they were done with the film, or during the production, they turned to Ray Parker and they told him to write a song for the film, and they required him to use the name Ghostbusters in the song, and he didn't quite know how to put a name like that in a song until he watched a late night commercial of something and realized that he needs to make it like a commercial for their services. When Something Strange, Who You Gonna Call? That came from Ray Parker to think to score it as a commercial, and the rest is history. I can't imagine that song not being part of my life because I grew up with it.
Yeah, because this was 1984, so it was probably around 1985. They had the Academy Awards, and I remember loving the film. I saw Ghostbusters. I was like, oh, I hope it gets nominated, or I hope it wins something. And it was nominated for Best Song. It lost finally to Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Love You. I was very disappointed, even though I love Stevie Wonder and I love that song as well.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, it had to be Ghostbusters. I remember that later they were sued by Huey Lewis and the News because it ripped off Huey Lewis and the News song I Want a New Drug. They ended up paying. So it's one of those songs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Both great songs, but funnily enough, Ghostbusters one was more successful. But yeah, but still, a rip-off is a rip-off. We'll put that aside because it's a great song.
At number 3, we have the Halloween theme, main title by John Carpenter, the director of Halloween. He also scored the music for the film. That's just a beautiful piece. This was the late 70s. The theme was inspired by synthwave music. The entire piece feels so intuitive because you know it's the director who scored it. You know how close he is to his film. It's like the audible representation of his vision of the film because it's the same person. I appreciate the theme, I think, more than I do the film itself because it's so embedded in my brain. Just a beautiful theme. John Carpenter's a legend. What else can I say about it?
Yeah, finally, I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, but I am not a massive fan of the film. I think it's okay, but a lot of people say it's the best horror film of all time, and I think that's rubbish. But never mind. I also believe that the score of the film is actually better than the film because it's one of the best scores I've put together for any film. And also a notable song in the film is Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, which was earlier in the countdown. So yeah, I love this soundtrack. I love this theme song especially. And there was just something about it that was so new when it came out. It was just like when I heard that John Carpenter was the one that actually did the score, I was very surprised because I knew him as a filmmaker. I didn't know he was such an accomplished musician. But yeah, fantastic. And like I said, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, chance has it that Rob Zombie did the remake in 2007. And Rob Zombie is also a musician. musician, an accomplished musician. It's like, what are the chances? The same thing.
Well, speaking of Rob Zombie, there were a couple of songs by Rob Zombie that were considered for this countdown, but they were left out of the top 20. Still amazing stuff. At number 2, we have Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell. I don't know for certain, but if I recall correctly, Rockwell is related to Michael Jackson. I think they're like cousins or something, but I'm not 100% sure. I do know that Michael Jackson sings the chorus in the song, which gives it this amazing, awesome sound. I think the chorus is better than the whole song, but it's all good because the Rockwell almost raps the song, not quite sings it. This was released in late 1983, and yeah, I remember when it came out, I was watching that music video, I was in love with this song, and I thought, oh, Rockwell's gonna be massive, and I think it's pretty much the only hit he ever had. So yeah, I really knew my music back then. But yeah, it's definitely one of those songs that kind of connects with Halloween for me, but because again, the theme is just so well suited for it. It's an awesome song.
Yeah, I love this song so much. I was a kid when I saw it, and I think it was the scariest music video I've seen. Moving around the house, and you don't know what to expect. You don't know where the boogeyman is gonna jump at you, and it's like Michael Jackson in the background. I always feel like, and my brothers had to tell me, it's Michael Jackson singing the chorus. Oh, really? I love Michael Jackson. I was just a kid. Every time I hear this song, it takes me right back. I'm not 45 anymore. I'm 7. And I'm with my brothers in our living room watching this because you didn't have much entertainment back then. You just had the TV set like 2 channels on it. So every time something like that came up, you would like be glued to the screen. So just beautiful. Very nostalgic with this song. I love it.
Yeah, because back then music videos were an event.
Yeah.
Which is actually a fantastic segue to our number 1. Just before we go to number 1, here's our honorable mentions from the full list that we put together that we actually got this top 20 from. A lot of amazing stuff. Check it out.
And at number 1, we have Thriller by Michael Jackson. I don't think you can call it a music video. It's a short film with music in it.
It is.
I love this piece so much. It's like Michael Jackson was given access to manifest his imagination and he just brought it to life. And it's funny and it's scary. And as a kid, you can imagine listening to Vincent Price narrate and oh no, and Michael Jackson turning into a zombie and dancing and all that other stuff. And the movie within a movie. And if Michael Jackson ever chose to be a full-time actor, he would have been a star. Just as he was big in music. Super memorable piece, and I love it so much, and it will forever be part of my childhood.
Yeah, the funny thing about this one is it was released from the album titled Thriller, and it was the 7th and last single from the album. So it was released already into the album's success. I think the album was released in 83 and the song came out late 1983, early 1984. And it was such a massive event because I think it was like a calculated thing to make it into this short film. Because again, it was the 7th single from the album. Usually people get tired by then from songs coming from the same album, plus they heard the song before. So the version that came with the music video was obviously much longer. It's like, I don't know, close to 13, 14, 15 minutes, something like that. It was directed by John Landis, who directed one of the American Werewolf films. He directed a lot of stuff. He was a very well-known director by the time this came out, having made Animal House, Blues Brothers, and all that. So getting such a name to direct a music video that was like a short film event, it was awesome. I remember the dancing was fantastic in this. I was a massive Michael Jackson fan. So yeah, I was so excited. I learned the song off by heart, and it was one of those songs that helped teach me English, because English is my second language. The way I learned it was by watching music videos and just making the connection to the subtitles. This song is one of the best songs of all time in my mind.
This is, I think, the song, the music video that put in my mind Michael Jackson with anything that had to do with highly invested projects. Because everything Michael Jackson did for television, for when he appeared, was like blowing my mind because he was going all out. Makeup and fantastic themes and science fiction and whatever you can throw in front of a camera, it's connected to Michael Jackson. That's why I said if Michael Jackson chose to be an actor or a filmmaker, he would have done a magnificent job. I think he's slightly underrated in that nowadays. People remember his music, but they don't talk too much about his showmanship.
Well, and just business acumen. I mean, it was so clever.
Yeah.
When he released this song, it doubled the sales of the album that was already starting to drop in sales. It became the best-selling album in history at the time. So just, again, amazing. Definitely a worthy number one. So yeah, so that's our Halloween list, guys. We hope that you agree, disagree, whichever. We're happy to hear from you in the comments. If you guys want us to do any kinds of these types of lists in the future, drop us a request through Buy Me a Coffee, and yeah, and we'll look at it. It might take us a little longer because it might require some research, but we'll get there. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we have, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you soon with another new episode of BABBLE ON. Happy Halloween, guys. Bye for now.
Happy Halloween.